Next is protostomia and deuterostomia. Protostomia. The eumetazoans in which blastopore develops into mouth are referred to as the protostomians. Here, eumetazoans means a major division of the animal kingdom comprising all multicellular forms except the sponges, in which blastopore develops. Here, blastopore means it is an asexual fungal spore produced by budding, develops into mouth. Here, blastopore develops into mouth are referred to as the protostomians. The protostomians means a multicellular organism whose mouth develops from a primary embryonic opening such as an annelid, mollusca or arthropod. In the protostomians, cleavage pattern is spiral and determinate. In the protostomians cleavage pattern, it refers to the process of cell division from one fertilized cell, the zygote, into hundreds of cells, the embryo. In protostomes, the developing zygote undergoes spiral cleavage, a process in which the cell divide at 45 degrees angle to one another due to a realignment of the mitotic spindle. Is known as cleavage pattern. Cleavage pattern is spiral here. In the protostomians, cleavage pattern is spiral. Spiral means a long curved line that moves round and round away from a central point, and determinate. It can only grow to a certain limit. In the protostomians, cleavage pattern is what? Spiral and determinate. Example, organisms of the phyla Platyhelminthes. A Platyhelminthes means a phylum of worms having bilateral symmetry and a soft, usually flattened body comprising the flatworms. Nematoda. Nematoda means it is a large phylum of worms with slender cylindrical bodies. Next is Arthropoda. Next is Annelida, a large phylum that comprises the segmented forms which include earthworms in Annelida. Next is Arthropoda, a large phylum of invertebrate animals that includes insects, spiders, etc. in Arthropoda. And last is Mollusca. Mollusca means any of a large phylum mollusca of invertebrate animals such as snails, etc. with a soft unsegmented body usually enclosed in a calcareous shellfish. Deuterostomia. The eumetazoans in which anus is formed from or near the blastopore are called deuterostomians. Here, eumetazoans means a major division of the animal kingdom comprising all multicellular forms except the sponges, in which anus is formed from or near the blastopore. Here, blastopore means it is an asexual fungal spore produced by budding, are called deuterostomians. Here, deuterostomians means deuterostomians are animals typically characterized by their anus forming before their mouth during embryonic development. In deuterostomians, the cleavage pattern. Here, cleavage pattern means it refers to the process of cell division from one fertilized cell, the zygote, into hundreds of cells, the embryo. In protostomes, the developing zygote undergoes spiral cleavage, a process in which the cell divide at 40 degrees angle to one another due to a realignment of mitotic spindle. In deuterostomians, the cleavage pattern is radial. Here, radial means starting from a common central point and going towards the edge of a circle. And indeterminate means the division of an egg into cells, each of which has the potential of developing into a complete organism. In deuterostomians, the cleavage pattern is what here? Radial and indeterminate. Example, organism of phyla Echinodermata. Here, Echinodermata means any of a phylum Echinodermata of radially symmetrical coelomate marine animals including the starfishes, sea, etc. Hemichordata. Here, Hemichordata means a small phylum of marine invertebrates that comprises the acorn worms. And Chordata. Here, Chordata means a large phylum of animals that includes the vertebrates together with the sea squids and lancelets. Echinoderms are enterocoelomates. In echinoderms, coelom is formed from the mesodermal pouches of archenteron. Hence, echinoderms are called enterocoelomates. Here, echinoderms means echinoderm coelom. Here echinoderms coelom means it have a spacious coelom. Can open fluid-filled body cavity lined with tissue, large gonads, and usually a complete gut. It is called echinoderm coelom. It is formed from the which pouches? Mesodermal pouches. Here mesodermal pouches refers to the segmentally arranged blocks of mesoderm that occur on each side of the notochord of the vertebrate embryo of archenteron. Here archenteron means a primitive digestive cavity of the embryo at the gracile stage of development in animals. Hence, echinoderms are called enterocoelomates. Here enterocoelomates refers to any animal in which the mesoderm-lined body cavity coelom arises in the embryonic stage. In echinoderm, coelom is formed from the mesodermal pouches of archenteron. In echinoderm, coelom is formed from which pouches? The mesodermal pouches of which archenteron. Hence, echinoderms are called what they call enterocoelomates. Echinoderms have a true coelom called enterocoel. Echinoderms have a true coelom. Here, true coelom means it is a body cavity formed during embryo development from the 3 germinal layers. Echinoderms have a which coelom? True coelom called enterocoel. Here, enterocoel means a coelom cavity present in some invertebrates which has developed from the wall of the archenteron. ICZN. Here ICZN stands for, next is ICZN. ICZN stands for International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. Next is names of protostomian phyla. Protostomian phyla. First is Platyhelminthes, second is Nematoda, third is Annelida, fifth is Orthopoda. Fourth is Orthopoda. Again I am telling you, first is Platyhelminthes, second is Nematoda, third is Annelida, fourth is Orthopoda. Again I am telling you, Platyhelminthes means a phylum. Platyhelminthes means a phylum of worms having bilateral symmetry and a soft, usually flattened body comprising the flatworms. Nematoda. Next is Nematoda. Here Nematoda refers to it is a large phylum of worms with slender cylindrical bodies. Annelida. Annelida means a large phylum that comprises the segmented worms which include earthworms. What it includes? It includes earthworms. Next is Orthopoda. Here Orthopoda means a large phylum of invertebrate animals that includes insects, spiders, etc. Next is nematode is a protostomian but not a eucoelomate. In nematodes, the blastopore develops into mouth, so a nematode is called a protostomian. In nematodes, what it develops? Blastopore develops into mouth. So a nematode is called a protostomian. Here protostomian means a multicellular organisms whose mouth develop from a primary embryonic opening such as annelid, mollusca, etc. In nematodes, the body cavity is not a true coelom as it is not lined by mesodermal epithelial peritoneal layers. It is called pseudocoelomate. Here in nematodes, the body cavity means it is any space or compartment in an animal body. It's called body cavity is not a true coelom as it is not lined by mesodermal epithelial peritoneal layers. In nematodes, the body cavity is what here not a true coelom and as it is not lined by which layers? Mesodermal epithelial peritoneal layers. It is called pseudocoelomate. means an invertebrate such as nematode having a body cavity that is a pseudocell. Pseudocell in nematodes is a remnant of embryonic blastocell. Here embryonic blastocell means it is a fluid-filled cavity characteristic of animal embryos at the blastula stage. Is called embryonic blastocell. Pseudocell in nematodes is the remnant of what? Embryonic blastocell. So a nematode is a pseudocoelomate but not a eucoelomate. So a nematode is a what year? Pseudocoelomate but not a eucoelomate. Next is ecological diversity. Here ecological diversity means diversity at the ecosystem level is called which diversity? Ecological diversity. The three types of ecological diversities are alpha diversity, beta diversity, gamma diversity. Next is species richness. Species richness is the number of species per unit area. Here, species per unit area means population density is the number of individuals present per unit area or volume at a given time in species per unit area. The more number of species in an area, the more is the species richness. The more number of species were in an area, the more is the which richness? Species richness. Guys, next important points or basic use I will continue in next video. Till that you study well by understanding, and if you like my video please subscribe to my easy learning channel.